Hello everybody, welcome. My name is Rita of the Shadow. So today I thought I'd do a explain how the eight sides of mind table works, explanation and how to episode, just so that because I feel like as I was doing the experimental 8 gates analysis, I realized I was having to explain how the table works each time. And in order to make the video shorter for some of the more impatient, the people who values efficiency more, it's better if I take that explanation out so that I can just focus on the important information that they needed to know. So yeah, so starting from scratch kind of, except the structure is there. So which type shall we do? I guess ISFJ. So ISFJ have ESFP shadow. So that means ego is ISFJ, and ISFJ have what? They have SI, FE. So basically, if you know their type code, you can get their hero and parent cognitive functions. So from that, you can know the child and inferior by using the cognitive axis. So FE is on the axis with TI, and SI is on axis with NE. So that means their shadow have the reverse. So instead of SI, it has SE, and FE have FI, and TE, TI have TE, and NE have NI. So you can double check, yes, SE is on the same axis with NI, and FI is on the same axis as TE. So you can check like this. So if you notice anything that is not on the same axis, then you might have made a mistake somewhere, and it's better to go back and check. So yeah, so basically you just need the code to fill out the rest of the table. And so what do we have here? So it's an extroverted, right? Extroverted. Yes. See, ESFP, and it matches. So if the cognitive functions is not matching with the type that you are expecting, then you also need to check if you made a mistake somewhere. But once you have the hero and the shadow cognitive functions, you are pretty much all set to fill out of the rest of the table. Because as I showed before in the other short video, you can just fill out using the gate. So FE, TI, So extroverted followed by introverted. So that means SI must come here and NE must come here. And TI must come here. TI. Okay. And TIFE. And introverted followed by extroverted followed by introverted. Followed by introverted followed by extroverted. And you can, the next thing is you can double check. So this one should be the completely reverse order of this one. So NE, TI, FE, SI. And this one is the reverse order of this one, and vice versa. Okay? And this one, so FI, TE, so and NI, double check reverse order. Yes, reverse order. Correct. Okay, so now we can fill out the type code. So FE and SI, so definitely an extrovert. SF, and since it's lead with an extroverted judging function, it's a J, and this one is an introvert, and NT, and P, and this one is an extrovert, and T, P. So the next thing you can observe is this one becomes extrovert here, and this one becomes extrovert here. So, and vice versa. If this one is introvert, then this one is an extrovert. Same thing goes here. And so this one is definitely an introvert, and SF, and it's got a perceiving function, so it's a P. And this one is an extrovert, and T, and they have got a judging function, so it's a J type. And this one is introvert, and NT again, and extroverted judging function, so judging. So once again, only the first letter should change between this one. Only the first letter should be different. So always double check and make sure you're not making any mistakes. And so now you have a complete 8 gates table. So see, everything is logically deduced. I didn't make anything up. It's just all using your countive function and pure TI logic. And furthermore, you can observe the next thing is, so this one is just introvert to extrovert, right? And this one to this one is just changing the last letter. So If you go from hero to rebel, you are changing your last letter. So that means it is quite hard to know what your type really is if you are in a certain stage of life. Like if you are feeling unsure about yourself, then it's actually quite hard to find out your type. Yeah. Or if your environment does not support your ego, then you might also be in your shadow as well. So it is also hard to find out what your type is, because some people say like, oh, I think I'm sometimes an extrovert and sometimes an introvert, and I'm like, oh really? I didn't know. Yeah. Oh really? I didn't know. Why? Because everybody is an introvert and extrovert equally. As you can see, very obvious from this table, you have equal number of introverted side of mind as the extroverted side of mind. So when you say I'm an introvert or an extrovert, it means that you are preferring to be in an introvert side of mind over an extrovert side of mind. It's just that. And if you are an ambivert, it means you are switching between introvert and extrovert side of mind. Could be by choice or out of necessity, because you can't very well be an introvert if your job literally require you to be an extrovert now, can't you? Or vice versa, if you are extrovert but you are being forced to work from home, then you are being in an introverted state. So in my opinion, it's only that we are in different side of mind. So yeah. And what else do I want to say? Make table, explain how. Oh, explain what each gate does, yes. And I already explained introverted. So I explained this one, and I explained this one. Oh yeah, inferior demon gate. So we have to explain this and this. Okay. So another thing is this 8 gates table is expanded from C.S. Joseph's 4 sides of mind model. So in that model, there are only 4 sides of mind. This one is the same, it's the ego, and this one is called the shadow, and I didn't call it the shadow here because I think anything outside of the ego should be considered a shadow. So everything here is the shadow if you are in your ego. So yeah. And oh yeah, so ego, shadow. Next we have this one, and gateway from the inferior into what C.S. Joseph called the subconscious, or animus in some other people's systems. And I call it the idol because Well, because he talked about like when you are aspiring with your inferior function, right? So when you are aspiring to be someone you are not, or you are wanting to be something different, then it's like that is kind of your idol, right? So that's why I put the idol here. But for me, these names here are not that not that important. I mean, they are important in terms of help us understand what they do, but what they are called are not that important. You just have to know like what is the implication when you get way into this side of mind, because obviously when you get way here, it's different from when you get way here. So yeah. And why are these more? Why is this one? Oh, let me finish the last one first. That would help, wouldn't it? So the last one is this one, right? In the four sides of my model. So basically the four corners. And this one is called the superego in C.S. Joseph's model. And yeah, you get way through the demon function, which is the last function. And I call it the resurrected because when you get way into this side of mind, you can, depends on how you use it, you can become good or bad, like a holy resurrection or an unholy resurrection, which I would usually explain in the type videos. So yeah. So so why are so why are oh my gosh, can't talk. 1 second. So why are these more important? Because if you can see these gates, the hero of these four corners are the parent of the middle four. If you can notice, you know, can you see the relationship there? So that means that because parent function is so important in a cognitive stack, like it holds, in my opinion, it holds the whole stack in place. It's like because it needs to keep the hero keep the hero honest. It's there to keep the hero honest and there to keep the child safe. So it kind of it's like very central position in utilizing that particular cognitive stack. So unless you can have, you can get way into this side of mind properly, it's like even if you try to get way into this, it won't function properly. This one you might be able to get away with because this one is your hero. So I think you can get way into this one quite easily, especially if you are becoming a parent, because obviously like parent function and you kind of parent your own child the way that you parent yourself. So that's why it kind of works like this. And you will only get amplified if you are caring for a child or someone that you are extending your care towards. It could be a friend, a lover, a stranger, etc. If you are extending care, maybe this is the function or the side of mind that you might get into. So yeah, and the child function gateway into the gift. So it relies on you having a healthy and not a need but a healthy inferior function, because it's a need now because we are in ISFJ. But conceptually, if we are only talking about just any inferior function, you need to have a healthy parent here to use your gift well, because the child function is quite innocent, so it tends to be less noticeable when you are younger, and they become more significant when you integrate one of your shadow, or you overcome, so if you overcome, so this one is a major shadow, because inferior function is where the hero's insecurity exists. So if you overcome your own insecurity and you are able to aspire to be a better person, then it is then that your child can start shining, like waking up and start giving their innocent gift to the world. So yeah. So of course it says give here, but obviously your ego is also your gift, but because it is like what you come with already, so it's like unnecessary to mention again. But your child is like your second gift after you integrate your shadow, and it's innocent, so it's like a pure kind of gift without any particular agenda, I guess. And okay, so where were we? So I guess we talked about these ones already, so now we come here. So this one is called the shadow because it is the other four. Is like because you like to use these four so much in your ego, so these ones, they tend to get sidelined as a result. Not that you don't have them, but you don't put too much attention on them naturally. But the interesting thing is, I have noticed that when we are younger, not just me, but I think C.S. Joseph also mentioned that when people are younger, that they tend to be in their shadow more. So it means that if you are a younger person, if you are, under 18 or whatever, or if you are not yet how should I say this without being mean? If you are not yet taking responsibility for your life, then maybe you are still in your shadow the whole time, you know, because the ego would suggest that we are taking things to our own hands in a way, like taking responsibility. So yeah, but there are a lot of different factors involved, so it's not always the case. But just for the sake of argument, let's say that this is the case, or if you are being oppressed, like if for whatever reason your family does not vibe well with your ego, so you might be in your shadow just because it is easier to get along with everybody when you are in this mode. But you might notice you are different when you are by yourself or vice versa. So that is a sign that maybe you are in your shadow. Just I'm not saying this is definitely the case, but just something to keep in mind. And so yeah. So anyway, so everybody have all 8 functions as we talked about before, and that's why there are 8 gates, because you can gateway into each one of your functions. And the next one is the critic, which gateway into rebel, because when you are criticized too much, you want to push back, right? So that is the reason why critic is linked to a rebel. And rebel is not always bad, because sometimes you have to rebel when you are being unjustly oppressed. So that's why, when you are being told not to do something, you are somehow becoming even more want to do it, because we are all rebels in a way. And next one is the trickster function gate. So the trickster gate is very interesting because it's like our blind spot, and because we are not aware of having this, or just is it somehow we are not paying attention to this as much as all the other ones, so it's almost like it doesn't exist sometimes. You don't think you have this ability, and yeah, so that's why it is also the sage function, because if you recover something that you didn't know that exists before, you become automatically wiser than who you were before, and a much more complete person, because now you have recovered your eighth function. It's seventh, but it is like the eighth because you don't know that it exists. So yeah. And the demon gate is also very interesting, because you definitely you know that it exists, and you do use it, but we tend to use it in a bad way. It's like just sort of describe it as making a deal as a devil. So the devil gives you power, but it's also like for the for a negative result, or like the result not what you are expecting, but it is when you are using it in a negative way. But if you can, so because it's similar idea to this one, the area that you are weak against, because so this one is like 0, right? 0, and then you recover, and this one is like going into the negative side. It's like a negative value. So if you can turn the negative into a positive, it becomes even more valuable in a way. It's like you are becoming literally like an angel, I would say, because the demon gate is usually you. It's very hard to explain without using an example to explain. How can I say this properly? I don't know. So anyway, for now, just know that you can use it in a positive or negative way, because I don't want to explain it right now. I want to explain it when I'm talking about the ISFJ video. And this is just an example. So yeah. Did I talk about everything? So talk about the inferior demon gate, but I haven't talked about how it works yet, so I don't know. And what each gate does, kind of. Okay. So I guess we covered everything. Thank you for watching, and I'll try to explain the last one in a later video when I think about it properly, how to explain that to you. But yeah, for now, thank you for watching, and let me know if you have any questions, and see you next time. Bye!